All right, Colin from Comsteria today. We're taking you inside the news and we're having a quick look at the Clyde 1 8 a.m. news bulletin. They've just done it, 15th of May 2024. And I didn't set the stopwatch on this, but it's somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes. I don't think it's much longer than maybe somewhere around about the 2.5 minute mark when you take away the start and the weather at the end. This whole package probably just short of 3 minutes. Starting with a really strong Scottish story, although the way that they framed it, it suggested at the beginning like this was something that was going to happen. The top line was something like people with drug and alcohol addiction will receive treatment within 3 weeks under plans put forward by the Scottish Conservatives. So the top line makes you think that this is something that's going to happen, and then you realise that, well, it'll only happen if the Scottish Conservatives' bill gets through. And they had an excellent clip of a recovered addict speaking about how difficult it was for her to get into rehab and some of the difficulties that addicts face getting the help that they need. Real strong West of Scotland accent on it, great sort of human interest journalism right at the top of their news bulletin. They then had a line saying that the safe consumption room in Glasgow was set to continue. Then another really strong Glasgow story that affects their audience. School pupils are worried about proposed cuts to the Glasgow City Council education budget. So there's campaigners out today, there's a protest, and again they had a really good clip of a parent campaigner. Both these clips, by the way, were female. A parent campaigner talking about obviously how important her child's education is and how concerned they are about some of the difficulties that the council is facing. So clip of her, and then a brief one-line response read by the bulletin newsreader just saying that the council says it's willing to meet with parents. Now, if the council's given an interview, best practice would be that we would hear from the council in the next bulletin in the next hour. If they don't do that, and if I was running comms for the City of Glasgow Council and we'd given an interview, I would be phoning up and chasing and saying, look, we've given this interview. That's 2 bulletins that have gone out now. All we've heard is the parental campaigner. Can you make sure that we are represented in here as well? If you haven't put someone up for an interview and all you've given the radio station is a statement, a text-based statement, a couple of lines, well, then the best you're going to get is that they read out that one-line response, so summarise what you've said. If the campaign group go to the bother of putting someone up and you don't, then you can't blame them for letting that be the focus of the story most of the day. Their only obligation is to provide your right of reply, which they're doing. Then they've got some numbers from the Accounts Commission, who've warned that the local authority funding gap across the board means that more cuts are likely. It's going to be difficult to balance the books. Then they're on to sport. Rangers beat Dundee last night, and there was a clip of Philippe Clement. They mentioned that Celtic obviously didn't win the league last night because Rangers won, but they will win tonight if they avoid defeat. I would expect the next bulletin, or maybe after lunchtime, they will probably flip that story round and they'll start leading on Celtic will win the league unless they're defeated tonight. And you'll then, if they've got it, you'll then hear audio of Celtic managers, Celtic players, that sort of thing. And then the closing story, again, this is a hit music radio station, so you would expect something around music, something around sort of showbiz or entertainment news. So the Taylor Swift Eras Tour, there's some figures out saying it's going to generate around £1 billion for the UK economy. So the whole Eras Tour, all the UK dates, generating £1 billion. And then they tag on, because this is obviously a Scottish radio station, that she's playing 3 nights at Murrayfield in June, just to keep that sort of Scottish focus in there. And then they're into the weather, and then they're done. So that is Clyde 1 News, read very well by Colette McGonigal at 8 a.m. this morning, 15th of May 2024.